It's modern, urban, very contemporary. It's good looking, this car, and it certainly gives you Lawrence Vandenecker's typical Renault family styling. Big bold grille, big bold logo, and very different use of materials, not your typical grille, and lots of customization options. Now, personalization has become the buzzword in our industry. There's an app for this car. You can go sort of mix and match different options. Lots of chrome inserts and additions that you can do. There are decals, there are roof wraps, and of course, two-tone means that you can also play around with different kinds. So you have grey or black on the roof, and the colors are also an interesting palette. So lots that you can do to make the car look fairly different. But the styling itself, coming back to it, like I said, it's contemporary, and because it has this sort of softer look up front and it's not your butch SUV, it makes the car overall look a little compact and tiny, but it's not. It's a nice ample-sized car, but in a way that's a good thing, because in the urban context, you kind of want something that's compact and easy to park, easy to drive, easy to maneuver. It gives you that. It also gives you this massive ground clearance. 210 mm is the tallest for any Captur in any iteration in any market around the world, and it's 5 millimeters more than the Duster as well. The other thing that only our market gets, the Platine variant, the very swanky high-end version, lots of LED lighting, and just, I think, trying to instantly give you this sense of premiumness, which is a big switch for Renault. At the back too, the taillights have been finished nicely, and overall the car looks really, really nice and attractive. Something I think that those who are younger by age or younger at heart are certainly going to appreciate. Now, Renault has tried to go really swanky with the interior, and that is good because that's the one big complaint with the Duster, right? The interior just wasn't good enough. On this Platine version, you get these standard quilted seats. It looks like a premium car in many ways. The plastics are pretty good, nice two-tone palette. On the top end, you also get the gold and white finish for the metal that you see here. Again, something different. There is an LED surround on this central console here as an ambient light of sorts. Climate control is standard as well. The touch screen is just a lot like the one on the Duster though, in terms of interface, in terms of what you get on it. So you do get navigation, but there's no Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. Those are in the works, says Renault India. No automatic at launch, and we don't know when the automatic will come if it does. So that could be a bit of a downer for some people. Start-stop button, the smart key card that Renault has been talking about with other models as well, and a nice instrument cluster. So overall, it really wraps into a contemporary and very attractive looking car. Though remember, it's a compact car, so it's not as if it's going to be hugely generous, but you get a good sense of headroom and you sit really tall as you would in many SUVs. Now, it's not like this car will surprise you with some miraculous amount of space at the back. It is a compact SUV, but it doesn't disappoint. You've got a good amount of knee room, and crossing your legs could be a little bit of a challenge, but you can manage somehow. The seat's comfortable though, it's nicely contoured. It's also well finished on the top end, Platine. LED lighting for the interior lights, and a drop-down armrest that's nice and chunky. Dual cup holders in there, and rear AC vent. You've also got a charging spot back here, so you can plug in your laptop and keep it going. And that's again something that a lot of people will appreciate. No USB points, but still the charger helps. First impression when you start driving this car, it is very similar to the Duster in all the good ways. So you can say that it's sort of the Duster with a little creamy layer on top, and that's a good thing, because remember, the Duster, the reason why it really did well was not just because of its price equation, but also because it had this really great ride quality, good drivability for Indian conditions, and the Captur will not disappoint on that front as well. Now, I have to say that I've only driven the diesel, so I can assume that the petrol has similar attributes, but ride quality will shine through. We've had some pretty rough patches of road that we've gone over today, some rocky bits as well, and the car's done pretty well in terms of just how it behaves and how comfortable it remains. So people are going to like that. Now the great thing about this K9K engine, it's well proven in Indian conditions and it's nice and torquey. The mid-range especially is just so satisfying. You get a very slight hint of lag at the start at very lower RPMs and lower gears, but after that it's really smooth and it pulls along beautifully as well. Now Renault has been pretty tight-lipped about whether or not there will be an automatic. For the most part the answer looks to be no, and that's a problem because when you talk about going premium, in many of these SUVs, the compacts, like 30% of that portfolio is now becoming automatic. So that means that Renault is sort of wiping itself out of that market and only operating in 70% of that space. And I can tell you what, that percentage for automatics will only go up. Why doesn't the Captur have an automatic? This platform, this drivetrain doesn't have an automatic anywhere in the world, and so which is why the petrol might still get it. But on the diesel, remember, even on the Duster, they had to go AMT, and I'm not sure an AMT would really work on something like this, which is premium.